On today's episode, we're going to be creating more of those DIYs that you keep asking me to make. And what is it? Button DIYs. So let's go use our button stash and get started. For this first project, we're going to use one of these frames from the Dollar Tree. I just took it out of the backing, and we're going to cover it with some white craft paper. This is just some scrapbooking paper, probably from Hobby Lobby in one of those big packs. So I just cut it down to fit to size, used some Elmer's glue that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I glued it to the front of the frame. I'm going to go ahead and put the frame back in before I do the project. That way I am making sure that I am not over the edge with these buttons, and we're going to start with these green buttons. So for this project, we're going to make a watermelon, and we're just going to start with some darker green buttons on the outside for our rind. I'm just going to go ahead and place them around where I think I might want them to go. I did not draw this project out, so this is one of those ones where you're just going to kind of sit it there, make sure you like the way it looks, and then go back and glue it. If you don't like that, you can go ahead and draw lightly on there with a pen or pencil, and then just follow the outside of your line. So once we get our rind on there, then I'm going to go ahead and go back in with hot glue and glue each of the buttons down. I wanted to make it a little bit more symmetrical, so I spread out the rind just a little bit. Once I have those glued on, I'm going to go back in with some lighter green buttons. This is to do the other part of the rind, the inner part of the rind, I guess you would say. Once I get those all in the way that I like, I'm going to go ahead and do the same process by hot gluing them down. I did decide to add one more smaller button up here at the top so that they are even. Once I get those all glued in, we're going to take our red buttons, and these are just various degrees of red buttons. They're also different sizes. I go ahead and lay them in. When I go to glue them down, they get a little bit messed up, and so it's not quite the same design. I go ahead and lay some buttons over the top to fill in some of the gaps for this one, and then that is it for this super adorable project. I really love how this one turned out. I thought about adding a bow, and then in the end decided I didn't want to put one there. Let me know down in the comments if you would have added a bow here, but that is it for this one. Let me know what you think about this cute watermelon. So for this project, we're going to make a card, and I kind of varied the projects in this one. In my first button video, I did some cards and some projects, and people really like that. So for this video, I'm going to do the same thing. So this is going to be a bee card. There's a little doodling involved in this, and I'm going to just preface this by saying I am no artist. Definitely that is not an ability that I was gifted with, but I do love to doodle, and I do really love how this turned out. So if you're afraid of doodling like me, give it a try. I mean, worst case scenario, no one sees it but you, and you didn't waste anything but maybe like a piece of cardstock and a couple buttons. So give it a try, give your creativity a little bit of a boost here. Now, as you can see, these wings are a little rough as we start out, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is a scrapper of a project, but I did not give up, and I persevered through these sad wings. So like I said, do not give up, keep going. Do those projects, you'll get better and better as you go along. So we're going to add some little lines here on our wings, and then once we have our lines in, we're going to go back into the body of our bee, and we're going to add the lines into the body of our bee. Once we get the lines in there, then we're going to go ahead and fill those in because this is a bee body. Once we fill in the lines of our bee body, we're almost done with this project. And then we're going to add some little antennas to the top of our buttons. This gives it the character, and it really brings these bees to life. Now, on most of my cards that I did in today's projects, I did not add any sentiments here. You can add whatever you would like here. I think the one I might have seen online said, "I'm so glad to be friends," but there's a lot of different sayings that you could add on the inside or the outside, whatever fancies you, but I love how these little bees turned out. It's definitely my favorite card of the day. My heart was in pieces. I told myself that was what I needed. The more I felt. So these little frames from the Dollar Tree are definitely one of my more favorite things to craft with in the frame section over there. They come right out of the frame and you can cover whatever wording is there really easily. So that makes it a really easy project to customize and make your own. So I started out with brown paper here, and it's the same process, but I decided to use white paper instead. But all you're going to do is trace your paper to fit the insert of the frame and then go ahead and cut that out. You're going to use some glue of choice to glue it on there. I prefer a glue stick. I just didn't have any on hand, so I just used some Elmer's glue. It did make a little bit of a bubble there, but once I do the project, you can't tell it all. So we're going to go ahead and draw directly onto our paper here. We are making some dandelion stems here, and so this is definitely one of those doodle projects again where you're just going to make it until you like it. If you need a reference, you can definitely go online, look on Pinterest or on Google, and you will get some images to copy if you need to do that. So once I have drawn my image onto my paper, I kind of sorted out my buttons before I started this video, but you're going to pick some buttons that you like in whatever color. You can do multiple colors if you wanted. I did one solid colored for this project. And all we're going to do is take these tiny buttons and we're going to glue them to the ends of our dandelion stems. So this is absolutely adorable. I really love how this turned out. It's super simple. You can customize it to any colors. You can make this bigger. You could even do this on a canvas if you wanted, and you can have multiple dandelions. There's just a lot of ideas for this project. I'm going to go ahead and add a butterfly sticker from the Dollar Tree up at the top, and that is it for this super adorable project. Let me know what you think about this one. Needed to see a way out somehow. Give me a reason. Give me a change. Give me some. I know a lot of times when I'm making cards, I show pre-made cards that I pick up at Hobby Lobby, but if you don't have any pre-made cards, that is okay. You can create your own cards using cardstock. I have this cardstock on hand, so I just made a quick card out of it. And you can also pick up envelopes at the Dollar Tree, so you can make your own cards and have your own envelopes, and you don't have to buy those pre-packaged ones if you don't want to. So we're going to start this card using some big white buttons. We're going to be making a wedding card here, and so these are going to be our heads. There's some doodling involved in this card. Most of this card is doodling, but it turns out so adorable. So we're just going to start by drawing the body of the bride first, and then we're going to go ahead and draw the body of the groom. So these are stick people. They are really simple. I feel like anybody could create this card. If you are not feeling confident in your doodling skills, you could definitely sketch this out and then draw it again as you copy your sketch. But this is super simple stick people. The last embellishment we need to add here is his top hat, and these two turned out so adorable. I am going to be using this as a wedding card this summer. I have a couple weddings to attend. You could add any sentiment you like on the outside or the inside. It's super customizable and adorable. Let me know what you guys think about this cute wedding couple. If you're into today's episode, I would love it if you went on down and hit that like button. And if you aren't subscribed yet and you're really loving today's content, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and become a part of my YouTube family. For this project, we're going to start out with this house frame. I got this at a garage sale. I got 2 of them for $1. I kind of think they might have came from the Dollar Tree or maybe Dollar General, just kind of looking at the frame insert. But we're going to take the glass out and the frame insert out, and we're going to add a piece of paper here. I'm going to be using a brown piece of paper, and I'm just going to glue it right to that insert. I'm going to go ahead and draw my design here on the inside of my paper. Now we're going to be making a chicken. I think that this project needed to be on a bigger canvas, if I'm being honest, or I needed to have smaller buttons. One or the two. Now, I do think it turns out adorable, and I do really love how it goes together, but I definitely think this could have benefited from a bigger size. But I thought that this house kind of looked like a barn, and so since we're making a chicken, I thought that that would be adorable, like having the chicken inside the barn. So once I get it drawn on the paper, I'm just going to take my buttons, and again, I'm just laying them out here. This is really beneficial because I did this twice. The first time I was using brown buttons, and when I put it around the shape, I really did not like how it turned out. So thank goodness I hadn't laid them down yet, because that way I was just able to recreate this with different colored buttons. So once I get the white buttons all glued on, I'm going to go ahead and add some black buttons down here for his feet. And I go ahead and do 2 rows of 2, and then I do a long row of a few buttons just to show like maybe his taloned feet going across there. I do go ahead and add a darker brown button up towards the beak to give it a beak look. And that is it for this project. I think it's adorable. It's a little abstract, and I do think it looks super cute in this house barn type shape. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Did you know you could follow me on my other socials? I have Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and Facebook. All the links are down in my description box, so definitely stop on over and say hi to me over there. For this cute card, we're going to use some stickers that I had on hand. You can pick up flower stickers like a dime a dozen at Hobby Lobby and the Dollar Tree. So you're just going to pick up some flower stickers that you like. I'm just laying them in a group, I think of 5 is what I end up putting on here, and I just do various ones. So these are all different colored stickers and sizes, and so I just laid them on so that I can get 5 stickers on my card. Once I get my stickers on, all I'm going to do is take some buttons that I think go well with each sticker, and I'm going to attach those buttons into the middle of our flowers. I also go ahead and add the leaves here around the flowers to make it a little bit more like actual flowers, and then that is it for this simple card. You can add any kind of embellishments that you like, or you could add any sentiments that you like on the inside. This would make a really cute friend card, or a summer card, or a birthday card. So let me know what you guys think about this one. this project was inspired by my mom. She's a music teacher and recently redid her music room. And so I thought it would be fun to create some art for her walls. She created some other art with my son, and I thought that this would be a fun project to go along with it. So I went ahead and drew some music symbols onto these canvases. These are from the Dollar Tree. They're just the smaller canvases. And then once I got them all drawn out, I'm going to go ahead and take these black buttons and I'm going to go around them on the lines to create this button art and these music symbols. Now, I really love how this one turned out. This sign could have been a tiny bit bigger, but all we're going to do is lay the buttons over the lines on our project, and then that is it for this super cute project. Let me know what you think about this one. Now this card is going to be super simple. I'm using a yellow background card. You could use a yellow cardstock piece of paper. And all we're going to do is take varying shades of yellow buttons. We're going to create a circle first, and then we're going to lay some buttons on top of that to add a layered effect. If you haven't figured out what it is yet, we're going to be making a sun. So once we get the center part of our sun, then we're going to go ahead and do the rays of our sun. I just did various colors. I didn't try to put them in any kind of order or anything like that. I just was trying to make it look like a rays of sunshine. I do have one heart button that I go ahead and lay in the middle of our circle just to give it a cute little added touch, and then that is really it for this project. Super simple. Anyone can make this, and this would be a great one to make with kids or with your grandkids, and this is just one that you're going to lay on top of each other. Now always be careful using hot glue. I have a super hot glue gun, so if you're using this with kids, make sure you have a lower temp glue gun because those buttons can be pretty small when you're putting the glue on. But that is it for this super sunshine card. Let me know what you think about this one.
Can't turn the tide, let the water go where it wants to go. You can run and hide.
So for this project, we're going to take one of these frames from the Dollar Tree. It has like a 3D circle that sits on top of a patterned piece. We're going to take the pattern piece and cover it with some more wood barn looking scrapbook paper. I'm just using a glue stick here, and then we're going to go ahead and attach that. We're going to take this circle piece that was like the 3D part on top, and we're going to cover it with some white chalk paint. This is some Waverly chalk paint, but any white chalk paint will do. I want to make sure that none of the wording is showing through. Then I printed out this piece from my printer, and then I cut it out into the circle, and I'm just going to use a Mod Podge and attach it to the circle part. So this is something for Mother's Day, but you could definitely use it for any day. This could be a good birthday gift as well. You can also make this saying be anything that you would like. It doesn't necessarily have to just be mom's. But once I get it glued on to the middle, I'm going to take some of my agave chalk paint, and I'm just going to dry brush around the sides to give it a little bit of dimension. The agave paint matches the wood grainy paper that I'm putting this on top of. I'm just going to very, very lightly dry brush on top of the words as well. And then we're going to add some hot glue to the back of our circle again, and we're going to add it to our piece of wood, as I say that in quotation marks. Then we're going to take some buttons and we're just going to add it around the outside. The saying says moms are like buttons, they hold everything together. So you can add as many or as little buttons as you like here, but here it is, styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about this one.
Somebody told me don't pretend, 'cause everyone could use a friend sometimes. Take some good advice. Don't let your fear decide.
For this project, we're going to create a heart onto this card. Now, you could draw the heart out. I did not draw the heart out for this one. I just kind of put it in a shape that I liked. In a way, I kind of wish I had drawn the heart out because my heart becomes a little smashed, but it's still super adorable, so you decide either way if you feel like you need to draw it out. No shame in that, and it always gets covered up with the buttons anyway, so it just is a pattern. And if you're using or doing this with kids, patterns are a great thing because it really helps them stay to what it's supposed to look like. So once I get those all glued on in my heart shape, I'm just going to add this cute little bow at the bottom. I'm going to add a button on top of that. And then that is it for this one. You could add any sentiment you like on the inside or outside. But here it is. Let me know what you guys think about this one. So I'm going to take some fabric from my fabric bin here, and I have several sheets that are like fat quarters, so we're going to pick 2 coordinating fat quarters to make a pillow. So we're going to head over to the sewing guru in my life, which is my mom. She has all of her sewing machines set up at her house and they're all ready to go, and she's actually waiting for us. So we're going to head on over there and we're going to get a lesson on how to make a pillow from the sewing guru in my life. Let's head on over and make our pillow.
When you turn it inside out or right side out, then you're going to have it. It's going to
give us professional corners.
Yeah, let's hope so. When you turn it,
oh, then you get the like.
And lots of times I just take a pin and play with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it makes it nice and
you get like a pointy corner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like making pillows.
They're not really that hard.
No, they're not. Now, the smartest thing to do is to get them into the corners as firm as you can.
I'm going to go to this corner.
And if you have to poke it in, perfect.
Okay,
perfect.
Then I go to the next corner.
I would go to the next one down here. Oops, I just showed my finger. Are you going to edit this?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I really like the fabric. It's pretty.
I might have some more at home.
I don't know what I'd do
and
with it.
You can have a pillow too.
And then you can just fill it everywhere else.
Okay. There we are.
Okay. Yeah.
It was so fun sewing with my mom today. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know down in the comments. We'll have to do some more segments with crafting with mom, just so that we can get all the knowledge that she has. She's been crafting for years and it's super fun to spend time with her. So let's go on inside and get our embellishments done on our pillow. start out with these cards. Now I picked up this whole package of cards at Hobby Lobby. They were $8.99. They are Paper Studio, so if you are wanting to wait until they go on sale, they would be 40% off, and that is a great savings. If you don't want to make them into cards, any of these projects today can be made into wall decor, and I'm going to show you how to do that later in the video. So first we're going to start out with this pink card, and we're using pink ribbon. Now these can be customizable to anything that you might like. I have so many buttons I was gifted several years ago, and I thought this would be a really fun way to use them up. There are several project inspiration ideas on Pinterest. Look up ways to use buttons or button crafts, and you will find all kinds of inspiration. So the first thing we're going to do is stagger our buttons. I'm using a variety of blue buttons here, but you can use different colors as well if you would like. Then we're going to take a very thin pen. This is, I think, about a 0.5. I'm going to add my stems. I added a few leaves, and then I added a little bit of grass at the very bottom of my flowers. I love how this turned out. It's definitely artistic, and you can draw or do whatever you want. However, you don't need a lot of artistic ability to create this, because if you know anything about me, you know that drawing is definitely not a skill that I was blessed with, unfortunately. But here it is styled for you guys. Let me know what you think about this one. If you love card crafts, let me know. I used to do cards all the time, and I'd love to create some more for you if that is what you're into. Leave a comment down in the comments below and let me know.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la la. Hey, I've got you on my mind. Yeah, you're all that I think about. You know you got me going wild.
Now for this project, we're going to create our button art onto a canvas. This canvas came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to again be using only blue buttons. Now, this is totally customizable or up to you, whatever you choose, or whatever buttons you might have on hand. The Dollar Tree does sell buttons. They're usually a multi-pack, or you can find black ones. I'm going to be using buttons that are blue this time, and they are from Buttons Galore. This is not sponsored in any way. These were gifted to me, but I will leave the Buttons Galore website down below if you want to check it out. So I know it's hard to tell what we're making here because this looks kind of weird, but we are going to be making a jellyfish. So I just drew a circle, and then I added blue buttons all around the line that I drew to hide my pen marks. Then I'm going to take my buttons and I'm going to fill in the inside of the circle. So this is a bit time consuming, put on a show or a podcast. I am a huge podcast lover, so I tend to listen to podcasts while I craft. I am loving Dateline and 2020 right now. If you're a podcast listener, let me know down in the comments what podcast is your favorite right now. As I add these buttons, there are a few little holes in the circle, so we're just going to go over where there might be any white space and add buttons on top. That also gives it a lot of dimension and different colors, and I just really love the ombre effect of this. Now, this is my favorite project of the day. I absolutely love how this turned out. And like I said, it's customizable. If you have different colored buttons or you want to make a different colored jellyfish, it's totally up to you. So once I get all the buttons there, we're now going to add our tentacles, and I'm using ribbon for this. This is just regular Rogaine ribbon. I believe this came from Hobby Lobby. It was also gifted to me, but it's just the very thin kind that you can pick up there. So I'm going to be using a light blue and a white for this, which is complementary to our buttons that are in our main jellyfish body. Once I get those all cut off, and I just measured down at the bottom, I'm going to glue all of the white ones on first, and then I'm going to go back and hot glue the blue ones in. So once I get them all glued onto my surface, I want to make it a little bit more flowy, so I'm going to go ahead and add ribbons on top of the ribbons I've already glued there. I know that might be kind of confusing, so you can just watch and see as I'm crafting here. Now, if you can tell, some of my ribbon is a little bit longer than my canvas, and that is okay because we're going to trim that off at the very end when we're all done. So there in between my white spots, I'm going to go ahead and glue my blue ribbon. And this is just getting glued directly onto my canvas. I'm going to do that for each individual place between my tentacles. Now there are several other sea creatures that would look really cute with these buttons as well. This was just one that I thought was adorable. So once I get all the ribbons glued on, I'm going to take some more buttons and just go around the very bottom of my ribbon where the ribbon meets the button. That way I don't have a seam and it looks like I have one continuous project. Now you could have glued your ribbon down previous to gluing the body of the jellyfish. I didn't do that because I wanted to make sure that it was even. I went ahead and did a couple extra buttons around the side to kind of make it look a little bit more uniform. And that is it for this project. It's pretty simple, like I said, a little time consuming, but it's absolutely gorgeous and I love how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think about this one. This is a super simple project that anyone can do, grandkids, kids, or yourself if you're into farm animals. But all we're going to do is add one really big pink button to the middle of our pink card. I'm using my 0.5 pen. I picked these up at Hobby Lobby over in the planner section. They are Paper Studio and you can get them for 40% off. They're my favorite planner pen. If you guys know me at all, you know I love planners. I talk about them all the time. If you're ever interested in that, let me know. Maybe I'll make a post on Instagram. But we're going to add just two little tiny buttons at the top for the ears, and then we're going to add a curly cue for the tail, and that is it. This is easy and would make a really adorable wall decor piece if you wanted to do that as well. For this project, we're going to make a thank you card, and this could not be any simpler. I absolutely love how it turned out. Now, there's a couple different ways that you could do this. We're going to be adding buttons to create a 1 million number, so we're just going to add them in groups of 3, and then we'll add our commas at the end. So I go ahead and write the word thanks under our million buttons, like 1 million thanks, but you could also add the thanks above the buttons and it would say thanks a million. So there's a couple different ways that you could do that. But once we get all of our buttons on, we're going to take our pen, just add our comma, and then I just hand wrote the word thanks. If you don't like your handwriting, stickers or stamps would work perfectly here. And that is it for this card. Let me know what you guys think about this one. So I think that this project would make a really cute Valentine card or wall decor gift. This would also be cute for a wedding or an anniversary. We're going to start out by drawing our triangle, and as I mentioned before, I am no artist. So if I can make this, you guys can make it too. We're going to go ahead and add some buttons for our heads. So the pink button is obviously the girl. We're going to add some tiny buttons into our triangle. So you can make the triangle any size you want. If you want it to be a little bit bigger and add some more buttons into the middle, that would be adorable as well. If I was making this into a wall decor piece, that is definitely what I would do, make the dress bigger. So once I get that on there, I'm going to draw myself some legs and some arms. This turns out so adorable. I absolutely love it, and I definitely think I'm going to give it to my husband for Valentine's Day. But once I get their arms and legs on, they're kind of holding hands here. Then I'm going to add two tiny buttons underneath our yellow button. That is our boy button, and it's going to act as a bow tie. So you want some really tiny buttons here just so that it's not like overtaking it. I had to kind of play around here a little bit with some button sizes just so I could get the smallest buttons I had on hand. Once I glue those on, I decide our card needs a little bit of sunshine, so I take that really big yellow button that you can see off to the right, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that into the top right hand corner. I'm going to add some little sunshine lines because why not? It's doodly and our bodies are already doodly, so I think that's adorable. Once I get our little sunshine lines on, that is it for this project. And like I said, this would make an adorable wall decor piece as well. Let me know what you guys think about this one.
Tell me what you wanna do. Yeah, 'cause I'd do anything. I just wanna be with you. How can you make me feel this way? Don't let me down, down, down. It could be you and I want you now, now.
So for this project, we're going to use some twine. I have these already pre-cut twine pieces, so I'm using those and just cutting them into smaller pieces. If you have a roll of twine, that will work too. You're just going to pick a desired length that you would like it to be, and then you're going to cut several of those pieces. So if you haven't figured out what we're making here, we are making a bunch of balloons. We're going to go ahead and take our twine and glue it to the card. Now, I wish I had kind of tied these in a knot first to give it more of a bunch effect, but we're going to go ahead and add something at the end that kind of fixes that issue. So if you're like me and you glued them on this way, it'll work just as well. So we're going to go ahead and take our buttons and we're going to start gluing them onto the card. I just want to caution you, like, my hot glue gun is so hot and I did severely burn myself during these projects. So definitely, if you have a hot glue gun that has a low temp, go ahead and put it on a low temp. I keep telling myself to buy a new glue gun. This is definitely a good reason to get a new one. So be on the lookout. Hopefully I'll be able to get a new one soon. But once I get all my buttons added to the top, then we're going to take some more twine and we're going to add a little bow. That's how we're going to fix our kind of weird issue of our string at the bottom. We're going to add it right underneath the bunch of buttons, which is our balloons. And I think this gives it such a fun 3D look. Plus it gives it a little bit more cohesive as a balloon look. Let me know what you guys think about this one.
Come let me hold you now. I wanna lay in your arms. Come let me love you now. Yeah, you're the one that I want. I wanna stay here. I wanna stay here with you.
So we're going to start out with this project using one of the canvases from Dollar Tree. This has several different colors of honeycomb, so we're going to be covering the dark honeycomb and the lighter brown honeycomb with some buttons. So these buttons I just had on hand, but if you don't have any buttons and you totally want to make these DIYs, you can go to the Dollar Tree and pick up buttons. They sell two different kinds. They sell a bucket that has black buttons, and then they also sell a bucket that is multicolored and has several different colors in it. So I'm just going to take some different colors of brown and we're going to go ahead and cover all of these pieces on the honeycomb. This was super fun. Once I laid them all out as pattern first, and then I went back and hot glued them later, just so I could decide like how I wanted it and the colors I wanted to make sure they matched. Once I get those all glued on, I'm going to take this ribbon I got at Sam's Club. I tied it into just a awareness bow with some twine. I'm going to add this cute little rose button that I had into the middle, and then that is it for this project. I think this gives it such a high-end look, and all we did was add a few embellishments to a project that was already there.
I wish I had a little more time with you.
So for this project, we're going to take some flip-flops that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that they are all set to go with the piece that goes in the middle of your feet. I thought this would be so cute for maybe like a bridal party or something like that. I wore flip-flops when I got married, and I thought that this would be super cute, maybe for all the bridal party to wear, like for the bachelorette party or something like that, or even to wear on your actual wedding day. But we're going to take these heart buttons. These came from Hobby Lobby. They are 3 different colors, pink, purple, and white, and they are also a varying, all different varying sizes. So I'm just going in a pattern of purple, white, and pink, and I started out by putting the hot glue on the back of the button, but I thought it was a lot easier to just add it to the piece that goes around your foot. That way you can definitely make sure that your hot glue is getting on the button and the shoe piece. Now you could use any buttons you wanted here. You could customize this for your colors or anything like that. I think these are super fun. But that's it for this project. Let me know what you think about these.
Time to figure out what this could be. I dreamt of a life in a small town that wasn't enough for you somehow. I just wish I had a little more time with you, baby.
Hey, guess what? If you're enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button. Let's get back to it. So this project is super easy. I took a gift bag that I got at the Dollar Tree. They come in a group of 3. I took my purple midline highlighter and I drew a heart on the bag. Now you can draw any pattern you want here. I just thought this would be really cute, and I had purple buttons that matched my midline highlighter. So I'm just going to take these buttons and I'm going to glue them all around the shape that I drew. I drew the shape mainly so that I could have a pattern. If you are really good at freehanding that kind of stuff, you don't need the pattern, but you could do any shape here, any pattern. You can do bigger bags or smaller bags. I just think that this adds to like the specialness of your gift, especially if it's like a wedding gift or something like that. It would be so cute to get this customized bag. But that is it for this project. Let me know what you think about this one.
When tears stream down my face, my mama said, all the nights that end in heartbreak gonna pay off someday. And the pain that you're feeling gradually fades away. 'Cause growing up, falling in love, giving your all might not be.
So Dollar Tree has these really cute house frames, so I went ahead and picked up one of those. If you don't like the house frame, you can use any frame, even one that you already have on hand. I went ahead and picked out all the large buttons out of this grouping of buttons. These buttons came from Buttons Galore. I will leave a link to their website down in my description box. This is not a sponsored video. These were gifted to me, but these buttons have gone a long way. I really love, they have shiny ones and they have matte ones in all different sizes, and they are really adorable. So if you want to check out their website, I'll put it down in my description box. But once I get all the really big buttons out, we're going to go ahead and just start adding them to our frame. I just use several different colors. I used a blue, pink, purple, and I used all the different shades that were available in this grouping of buttons. That's as easy as it gets. I'm just going to frame the house frame, and then I'm going to go ahead and add a picture, and I will let you guys see what it looks like. I love this one, and it's definitely customizable to whatever picture you want to put in there. Let me know what you guys think about this one.
Just trust your head and your heart. That's what my mama said. I wish I could freeze this moment, just never let it end. Walking through the snow when you're taking my hand. All of those late nights on your couch when we just talked until midnight. I just wish I could freeze this moment.
So these turned out to be one of my favorite projects of the day, but I'm taking some paper clips that I got at the Dollar Tree. These are a multicolored one, and these are shaped buttons, also I believe from the Buttons Galore website. I'm going to use the side of the paper clip that is like only has the one loop, because we're going to use these as bookmarks. So you can see where the button has a little loop where you would add like thread to sew it onto something. We're not going to cut that off for this project. We're going to go ahead and use that piece, and we're going to put our paper clip over it. I did use hot glue here just so that I can make sure that it adhered to the button, and I did go ahead and give it some pressure just to make sure that it was stuck on there really well. So I just used different colors of the paper clips to match the different colors of my buttons. These happen to be kind of a beachy theme, and we're just going to go ahead and use these different paper clips and do the same process over each one of the paper clips. These turn out to be the cutest bookmarks I have ever seen. Let me know what you guys think about these.
Weeks and months and years they passed, and I knew it wouldn't last. When tears streamed down my face, my mama said, all the nights that end in heartbreak gonna pay off someday. And the pain that you're feeling gradually fades away. 'Cause growing up, falling in love.
another option for these really cute shaped buttons is to make some magnets. So I'm going to take some cutters here and I'm going to cut off the plastic piece. I'm using these kind of large ones, and it does take off the plastic piece, but it leaves a little loop at the bottom. So then I go back with these other cutters and these worked a lot better. So I went ahead and removed the backing of all 4 of these buttons, and I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use these buttons for like office supplies. So I'm going to take these magnets. I just had these on hand. I only had 2 left, so I only got to make 2 buttons, but this was, or 2 magnets, but this was super fun, and I think I will go back to Walmart and pick up these magnets. I'll also leave a link down in my description box if you want to pick them up on Amazon. But that is all there is to this. You're just going to glue them onto the back, and then here they are on my fridge. Let me know what you think about these.
Just trust your head and your heart. That's what my mama said. Weeks and months and years they passed, but then I found something I knew would last.
So another fun idea for your office area is to take some buttons and make your own customizable thumbtacks. As you can see, I picked up this container of thumbtacks at the Dollar Tree. I'm struggling to get it open. I don't know why it took me so long, but I finally was able to get that piece open in the middle there. I'm going to go ahead and remove 2 of the thumbtacks from this container, and I'm just going to show you kind of what it could look like. You could definitely customize these. You could have a whole grouping of your own like personalized thumbtacks. I think that would be super fun. But I did go ahead and cut off that middle piece with my cutters, and we're just going to use hot glue and glue our piece on to the back of our button. And that is it, you guys. Here it is on my cork board. Let me know what you guys think about these.
Just like my mama said. Gradually fades
My ribbon inside my book, and then I cut a piece where I thought it was going to look good. Now if you only want to do 1 piece here for a single bookmark, you can do that too. I thought it would be cute to have it kind of hanging over. I went ahead and dovetailed the ends of my ribbon, and then I used these really cute costume jewelry buttons, and we're going to glue those to the bottom of where we had our dovetail. That is it for this super simple project. This would make a great gift if you're doing a book basket. It adds a very personal touch to a very fun present. Let me know if you're going to try this one out. Is take our wooden board. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and we're going to use a pencil and we're going to spell out a word. I'm going to spell out the word spring. Once I have my word spelled out, I'm going to take some buttons. Now I have these really cute pastel ones. I'm going to use some tweezers, and I'm just going to take the tweezers and pick up the buttons, adding them to the hot glue. So I'm just going to go around, cut not all at once, but just in certain sections, using my tweezers, adding my buttons. This is a super simple project, and you just want to keep in mind how long your word is, and you don't want it to be super close to each other, or you won't be able to understand what it says once you get your buttons down. but for this project I picked up a 5x7. So I have these really cute costume jewelry buttons, and this said like mom vibes to me all the way, and I've been meaning to give this picture to my mom for some time. So we're going to go ahead in the buttons that I had, and we're going to pick out any of the flat buttons. Then when I have all the flat buttons, I'm going to go back and find the other ones that I really like, and then I need a pair of pliers. So if you're going to go pick up buttons for this project, make sure you pick up flat buttons, and if you can't find flat buttons, you're going to need a good set of pliers so you can bend off or snap off the back where there is a little piece to sew it onto your clothes. Once I have those all snapped off, then I'm just going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to glue it around in the picture frame in a cute style that I like. Once I get it all glued on, I'm going to go ahead and put the glass back into the frame, add my picture, and this one's complete. I love how this turned out. I think my mom's going to love it. Let me know if you're going to give this one a try. Cute little chalkboard marker stakes that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use a paint marker. Mine came from Hobby Lobby. I'll link an option down below for Amazon, but we're just going to draw out the names of our herbs. I am going to use dill, thyme, and mint, and then I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Then I picked out some buttons in the neutral tones again, and I'm just going to glue a different color button to each one of these chalkboard signs. I thought it would be really cute to put one in each corner, and then that is it. We're going to add these to our seedling pots, and once I'm ready to pot them in my kitchen, I will add dirt, and then I have these cute little personalized planter markers, and I think this turned out adorable. I have a ledge in my kitchen. I definitely think that's where I'm going to put it. Let me know if you guys are going to try this out this year for your garden. Some neutral toned buttons here. I think this is really cute. I didn't have any succulents on hand, but I think a succulent with these color of buttons would be absolutely adorable.